Hey, this is Gerd Handel, and welcome to the Inner Light Project. This show is for anyone who's wanting to lead a happier, healthier, and enlightened life. Create more self-love, inject more joy and abundance into their daily life. Join me for inspiring interviews and spiritual topics so you can shine your inner light. Hello and welcome to the Inner Light Project. My name is Gerd Handel and today I want to share with you someone who is helping people to raise their vibration and step into their own individual power. Mary Armendarez is an intuitive healer, motivational speaker and power retrieval coach. She has 10 years of experience of healing fear and anxiety, and during this period she was introduced to the 12 archangels, which we're going to talk about today.
Mary, I'm so grateful to have you on the show and thank you for joining us today.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here and express some really wonderful tips for your healing techniques for your podcast listeners. So thank you for having me.
Oh, bless you. I'm really excited to know about what your life was like before you became an intuitive healer.
Well, I from a family of 10, so I was the ninth child, and we grew up Catholic. And so, to be honest with you, I was really scared of God and I never felt real love. So I had a pretty rough childhood. I saw all sorts of evil things in my family home. We lived in a home that was over 100 years old. I could feel the dark energies. So I had a really rough childhood. My saving grace is that I did have a guide that would always be with me in my bedroom and protecting me and sitting on my bed. But I was a weird little kid. Everybody was like, oh, she's a weird little kid.
I love it. Usually the weird ones are the best ones.
I know. Seriously, at least we have personality. And so I ended up going to a all-girls Catholic school when I was in high school. Sorry, I'm got my tongue tied today, and ended up getting pregnant. So coming from a Catholic background, being pregnant, you are just immediately go down to the lowest vibration. So I felt, guilty, ashamed of myself. My self-worth went out the door because, you're brought up, you're supposed to do this, and this, right? You're supposed to get married and then you have sex and then you have kids. And I did it all backwards. So that was the beginning of like, whoa, I started going down the wrong path of, didn't have enough self-worth or enough self-respect. And I ended up marrying a man that was 15 years older than me.
Wow.
So yeah, so pretty much he was there all through my 20s. And that's the time when most people are starting just to grow and your brain isn't even finished like growing, right? So so I was kind of mentally abused as like, you're not good enough, you're unworthy, you do what I tell you to do, that kind of thing.
Wow.
So it really started to take a toll on me until my daughter, who was about, I want to say 25 then, said, Mom, you need to read this book on the angels. So I picked up this book and read it. And all of a sudden something triggered. It was like, wow, I've been living this whole time in fear and anxiety. And it's just not a good place to be anymore, Mary. It's time to wake up. So my daughter and I ended up starting a business. And the business was just basically essential oils and organic washcloths. And we were just going to teach people how to wash your face, with using natural products. And then the angels came and said, nope, you're not going to do that, girl. You are going to do self-healing kits, tangible kits. Ooh. Well, these kids, here in America, we have a store called Nordstrom, and it's a big department store. And they actually contacted us and said, we want your kits in our store. And these kits sold out in 2 weeks. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is real, right? The angels told me to do these really awesome kits like nobody's seen in your whole entire life. And now they're selling. And so that was the beginning of, wow, this is real. The angels are real. You really do have power within yourself to change your reality, right? So what happened was then the angels came and they said, okay, now it's time for you to put tools together to help people retrieve their power, like just like you did, Mary. And now it's time for you to go out there and start teaching people to stop self-sabotaging themselves, that you don't have to walk around with unworthiness, that you're not a victim of your circumstances, that you have the power within yourself to retrieve that energy, to gain that wisdom. And it all starts within yourself. So whatever's going on in any of our lives, if it's crappy on the outside, it's because we are out of balance on the inside. It's the law of as within, so without, so within, right? So it's a total mirror effect. So basically, that's how I got started on my journey and kind of woke up and said, no more of this crap. I don't need to feel out of control and have somebody always telling me what to do and giving my power away.
Wow. So you know about the chakra system, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So as you were talking, I felt like little barbed wires on each chakra just like open and release, and then a massive light just come in. And I don't know if that's the angels that are with you, but something really weird just happened, which is kind of cool. I'm like, whoa.
I could feel it. Oh my gosh, I could feel it right now. They're totally working.
Oh, I can feel it now as well. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, it's so strong right now. The whole energy is coming through me.
Oh, yeah, I can feel it. I've done a lot of work on myself for 11 years, so I really understand this.
Yeah.
I've been into angels for a while, but obviously not to the same extent as that you have this, this is your gift. But I've had understanding of it for a long time, and I've got like my angels and stuff. But this has never happened to me on a podcast interview, so this is fascinating.
It's powerful, I'm telling you. Yeah, they're really I could just feel the energies all around me right now, and they're just totally, you're like opening up a whole new level right now.
Wow, thank you so much. Oh my god, I'm
let's just blast you a little bit more here.
Oh, bless you. Oh gosh, I can feel something.
Yeah. You're opening up like a big white light right now.
Yeah, that's what was happening.
Ooh, it's really strong.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful. I can totally feel it all.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Well,
yay. It makes me want to cry.
Me too. It's like talking to one fellow weirdo to another.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, wow. Yeah, I just felt like I needed to share that with you because I was like,
I'm so glad you did that. Makes me so happy because before I go on podcasts, I actually get my singing bowl out and I really get the vibrations in, and I call in the angels and I ask them, what is it I need to share with whoever's listening to this podcast, right? So obviously you needed a little blast of love and opening too. So how awesome is this?
That's it. That is amazing. Thank you. And it's so interesting that you're saying this, because what I usually do before an episode is that I will call in the light and love and say, share what needs to be shared between us both, but to help the listeners. And then I'll also say, like, I always say to my female ancestors, show us the way.
Yes.
There's some high vibe frequency going on right now.
It's very high vibe. You are on the right track, my friend. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've never had that before where someone's done something like that. That's fascinating. Wow. This interview is going to get a lot more stranger, but I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bless you. Wow, maybe I'll share this. Yeah, maybe I will share this and keep it.
I think you should share it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you again for just being you. And wow, I just want to talk about, you went on this journey of finding yourself, and you listened to the angels, you said enough is enough, and then you created this business, and then you were here to help people. What happened after that? So
I right now, what I'm doing is I have put together a power retrieval. So I actually help people come in and learn how to reclaim their power within us, because we don't realize that we're actually walking around with some really deep patterns and beliefs that are so deep in our subconscious. So if you think of it as like a house, so you've got the attic, then you've got the bedrooms, then you got the kitchen, and then you got the basement, and then you got the cellar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go in and I help go, okay, let's start at the attic and let's start removing those belief systems that are blocking you from walking into your true authentic self. So the thing is, as well, is that we have, so when we come to planet Earth, this is the only place where we come with a past, okay? And we have all our ancestors' stuff. So we have to clear, and this is the time of terror right now on planet Earth. This is a time of love. So fear is an illusion, and love that we are trying to go to, right? We're trying to get back into be our true authentic self, into love. But we are carrying our ancestors' garbage plus all our garbage from past lives. So sometimes when you have those patterns and beliefs, they're not even yours. They're your ancestors that you're still carrying around. So I show people how to clear those. And it's a miracle what happens once you really go in and you invite them all in, and you can see them. I mean, if you can see a little bit or sense them, you could see them, and you could see their faces from being really depressed or whatever to smiling. And then you could see them just ascending back up to source, God, whatever you want to call it. And it's clear. And you're clearing it for your ancestors, you're clearing it for your future lives and your ancestors' future lives. So that's where I am right now. My whole focus is right now is to help as many people as I can with easy tips that can help clear you so you can really step into your power.
That's amazing. And it's funny, I really relate with what you're saying, because that's the work that I do as well. And I do realize the power, like when I started doing my work 11 years ago, like generational trauma is real. And a lot of us don't realize how deeply rooted it is. So like you're saying, it comes from not just like our mothers, it can come from our great grandmothers and so forth. And especially as women, we have deep traumas of the patriarchy, how our mums were disrespected, whether it was in the workplace, relationships. And I recently shared this actually on a story of mine about how you can be the most educated woman in the world, but you can still end up in a toxic relationship. And people don't realize that it's actually not about the relationship. It's to do with the generational trauma of relationships that your mum had, your great grandmother had, and you're here to heal it.
Exactly. And people don't even realize that we're carrying that around, and we repeat the pattern. It's just like an abusive family, a member. Like, I'm not going to stereotype, but let's say the father. Say the father is abusive to the wife and the children. And then that little boy is sitting there watching it. Well, guess what? He doesn't know anything else. He's going to do the same thing. Unless somebody comes in and says, hey, let's break this pattern. Let's clear this. And it's miraculous how easy that is.
And just to say out there as well, like, it's not just women, there actually are men as well who are mistreated by women. And that, again, is a generational thing, which I've kind of spotted just through lineage patterns within my own family.
You are so right on that. It can be anybody. Even kids today are abusing their parents.
That is true, actually. And again, it's probably like a great grandma or somebody that the lineage is living through them. It's so fascinating. I don't know, it blows my mind every time. But yeah, I do believe the power of healing generational trauma is so important, more than ever before. Like and I don't know if you've noticed this, Mary, but like on social media, people are so much more disconnected with themselves than ever before. Like more than 20 years ago, things were a lot different back then. Whereas now I feel like people are isolating themselves, not knowing themselves as much, and are looking for external validation instead of looking from within and seeing where those patterns of grief, sadness has come from, or anxiety that lives within their lineage.
Right. Because they want to feel like they are, that they're being noticed. And see, when you're looking for validation from somebody else, what's missing on the inside? So basically what it is that they're not filling up with self-love and self-respect, right? Because if you're filled with self-love and self-respect, you don't need to look for outside validation. And it's very easy to do that. So a great tip is to, and this is awesome, and this works. So what you do is you set your phone, we all have phones, so set your phone on a timer, and every hour, so like 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll set my phone at 8 o'clock, and I'll do it every hour until like 5 or 6, whatever. And the timer will go off, and I just stop and I go, I am, because I am is powerful. When you say I am, you're calling on your higher self, your higher power. That's the self that stays in heaven and is always connected. I am filling up with more self-respect for me. I am filling up with love, unconditional love for me. I allow. And you do that on every hour. My God, you'll start seeing 11, you'll start seeing 10, all those little signs that you're in balance, all those fun little things that your angels and guides show you, because now you're coming into balance of you, and you don't need that outside validation of, oh, we're so proud of you, you're doing such a great job, oh, you're so beautiful, oh, you know what I'm saying? And you can also do the same exercise with this. I am creating a bond with my guides. I am creating a bond, or you could say, I am creating a stronger bond with my guides and angels. Because once you start acknowledging them, they're going to come in more and more and more, because we have free will here. So you can say, oh, it doesn't work for me, I did it one time, We have free will. So the angels, your angels and your guides that we all have, cannot help you unless you start calling them in for help and creating a bond with them, right? They're just sitting in the back, hanging out, having a cocktail, waiting for you to say, hey, and then they're finally like, oh, right, Mary's finally calling on my help, and here I am. I can't wait. But that's a big thing, is that people need to start learning. You are connected. You do have a team around you. You don't need to look on the outside. You can get it all from your guides, your team, and heaven. How I look at God is, so God energy, source energy, is made of feminine and masculine energy, just like we are and just like the angels are. So a great way, because God, when I was young, God was a scary word, right? I was like, oh gosh, it's going to punish you if you lie, you steal, you're going to hell, or you're going to purgatory. And you don't want to go to purgatory because you're there forever. So
it was similar for me as well. I understand. It was all fear-based, wasn't it? Religion.
Oh my gosh, I was so scared. I was so scared of everything. And then I'd have to go to confession, and I had nothing to confess, so I'd lie.
Oh, I've got to tell you something now that you just reminded me of something. I think I was like 10 years old, and I was in the temple. So I'm Indian, and I was in the temple. I remember staring at a boy, and I was like, oh no, sorry God, I'm so sorry that I was doing that. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be doing that. Like, I felt so bad as a little child, just wanting to fancy a boy. What? Ridiculous.
I know. It's because I know. And it's like, how stupid is that? I mean, it was all based on fear to keep us from, so like, for me, the Catholic Church was like, you have to pay us, and then maybe we'll give God a good word for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of bringing that light in. So for me, what I do is I call on Mother, Father, God. Mother, Father, God, thank you for receiving into my reality love, self-respect, whatever you want to bring in. But it's just a nicer way to say it. Does not sound better than God. It's like, Mother, Father, God. Now I have a mother, father that is looking after me no matter what, all the time. Because guess what? Mother, Father, God doesn't judge you. Because we always think that God's judging us, right? Judge, judge, judge. It's not. So our higher self, so our soul that stays in heaven, so there's only a little drop that comes, and you probably know this, a little bit of your soul comes in to our personality. So a little drop comes into Mary and creates this personality on earth. And so our whole purpose here is to be connected back to the soul that stays in heaven. That's your highest will. That's your highest truth. That's who you're supposed to be in a complete alignment with. So what I do, and I could do an exercise if you want, how to meet your higher self.
Yeah.
And would you like to do it?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Okay, let's do it. This will be fun. So we are going to go in and we are going to meet your divine child. So that's your divine child is what connects you to your soul that lives in your heaven, higher self. And we're good. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay. So I would just like everybody to close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in. And I want you to hold the breath in. And then you're going to exhale nice and slow. And then let's just do this one more time together. Inhale. Hold it. And exhale. Now, if you can't see, it doesn't matter. It's your intention. So don't get frustrated if you can't see. It doesn't matter. So before you is the most magnificent purple door. Just look at this purple door. Purple is the color of transformation and forgiveness. And on this purple door is a crystal doorknob. I want you to take your left hand and just touch the doorknob. It's cool to touch. I want you to open the purple door and you're going to step into your heart center. Your heart center is the most lush, green, beautiful forest. It's got trees, all your favorite trees, beautiful flowers. You look around, maybe you see a rose garden. The sky is turquoise blue. The sun is out, and the rays of the sun are so brilliant. They're just shining down on you. And you could just feel this energy just flowing through you. And you can feel a cool breeze on your skin. And up ahead, you see this little child coming at you. Now, this little child is you. So imagine, sense you as a little child coming up to you. And they're so excited to see you. Just scoop them up and give them a big hug. Oh, it feels so good to hug that little child. This is your divine child. This child is full of love. Now your child takes you by your hand, and in front of you is a gorgeous rainbow, beautiful rainbow, all the colors, more colors than you've ever seen here on earth. These colors are vibrant. And you're going to walk into the rainbow and just feel the energy of the rainbow filling you up. Every cell, every atom of your being filling you up. And before you is the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. This is your divine feminine. Your divine feminine that lives in heaven. She's coming up to greet you. You can give her a hug if you want. And now is the most handsome man you've ever seen in your life. He is coming up and he is radiating, just gorgeous. And you can give him a hug too. And they both bend down and they scoop up your divine child and they hold your divine child. This is your higher self. This is your soul in heaven. If you have any questions, you can ask right now. What is my purpose? Why am I here? Or you can just say, can you please guide me on my journey? I am ready to allow my higher self to guide me here on earth. I surrender. I surrender to you, higher self. And then when you're ready, you can just come back. Isn't that awesome?
I love that. That was so powerful. I felt so when you started the journey, I kind of imagined the light coming through my belly button and then the door above my belly button. So it's like a purple light shining through my belly button up to a door. So it's like the inner
Wow.
child. Yeah. Because I always feel like the inner child lives there, because it's like the umbilical cord cutting, that's kind of how I see the inner child lives.
And you're absolutely right, because that's where our soul lives. Yeah, you're 100% right. So the soul comes through the Christ chakra, and the Christ chakra, if you want to touch right now, is the bone that is behind your neck. You know that bone where your spine starts?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that bone is very important. That bone needs to be cleansed, and it needs to be, sometimes we need if we're really in a low vibration and we've been around, like say you've been out at a bar, or you've been at a hospital, or you've been around like a party or whatever. So what happens is, especially when you're a big bright light or you're an empath, the energy, we suck up those energies. You know that. We suck up these energies, and then we're like, holy cow, why do I feel like crap? It's because we're picking up other people's low, dense energy. Dark energy always wants to go to the light, right? So we're transformer, and especially I mean, it's bad. I can go places and I'm like, oh crap. I was so happy. Now I'm like, crap. Now I got to totally cleanse myself. So
you're an empath like me.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Horrible. It's horrible sometimes. You're just like, so you really have to protect yourself. So the one of a great tip to give your listeners is where that Christ chakra bone is. If you see any of the old ancient ones, or you see really mystics and such, they always have a turtleneck on, or they have a scarf around their neck. And you're always like, oh, why do you have that all the time? It's like 90 degrees out. Always. Because they're connected. They are protecting their Christ chakra. God, I can't think of the word. Anyways, this is what you do. You take your perfume, you take anything that smells good. You can use good old vanilla extract, whatever you have in a pinch. Dab that on your finger and place it right there, and then set your intention. I am now protected. Nothing is going to come in my aura. So that is a great way to protect yourself. Another great way to protect yourself is Archangel Michael's sapphire blue sword. So we all know that Archangel Michael is, protection. So you ask Archangel Michael to take his sword out and place it down the top of your neck, all the way down your spine, and then blow that blue out and around you, and you'll be protected. So these are great tips before you go out. You should do it every day, to be honest. That meditation is actually free on my website if anybody wants it. Because it's a great way to protect yourself.
Can you share the details, and I'll add it in the show notes?
So my website is just easy, maryarmendarez.com. So you could just go there, and I'll send you the link so you could throw it in the bottom so people can use that. It's powerful and it works.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, it's crazy that you're talking about scarves, because I was obsessed with wearing scarves as a teenager, even to my early adult years. Now that makes sense. And like I've always worn hats as well, but that's to obviously protect your crown chakra, which I realized years later, but I never thought about the neck. You're right.
Yes. Yes. And so speaking of the crown chakra, what I do is I teach people how to put on a violet fire hat, because do you know how you get in your mind and you can't get out of it, and you're like on that hamster wheel, and you're so like the past is going to come up, or you're thinking in the future and you're just like freaked out, or you got like a bill and you're like, how am I going to pay for this bill? And you're just, and your vibration goes down, right? Because you're freaking out and you're thinking and you're not in your creative, intuitive brain. What you do is, see all these tips I've got for you, girl.
I love it.
So what you do is you imagine a violet fire hat on your head. Now your hat needs to go down to the tip of your ear, because that's where all the crown, the chakra is. So violet fire, like I said earlier, is the color of transformation and forgiveness. So once you can imagine, and you could create your hat any way you want, right? You put that hat on your head, and what's it going to do? It's going to take away all that anxiety and the fear in your mind. So that's just a great visualization to do if you're really starting to go on that hamster wheel with your mind.
That's quite powerful.
It is.
Wow. That's
yeah.
amazing. Gosh,
yeah.
It is so important, isn't it, to protect the chakras, and because the vibration is high, like it's darker than it's ever been before in the world, I reckon, and therefore we need to have more of these kind of protection tools.
Oh my gosh, we need them. You need to do it before you go to bed at night too, because you get into the astro field, and like when you have those really weird dreams and scary dreams, you definitely should be putting so this is a great thing too. So what you do is you put the white energy all down through you, and then make it into a huge bubble. So this is cool. Make it into a huge bubble. Now, that's great that you're all protected in your white bubble. Then put the blue, like Archangel Michael, around that. Then you want to test it. So how do you test it? You imagine that a bull with the big horns is running at you. Now, if it pierces it, isn't this great? If it pierces it, you know that something can get through, right? So then you need to start filling up that area. Fill it up with the white, fill it up, put that blue, put that blue on there, and then do with a bunch of arrows coming at it. So a bunch of arrows. Did any of the arrows get through? Yes. Oh, shoot. Okay. Then you fix that. Now, the last thing, that's the most important thing, is I want you to imagine somebody talking smack about you, somebody talking bad about you, because anytime anybody thinks about you or talks about you, that's energy that's coming at you. So I want you to imagine it's like a vibration coming at you. Is your bubble strong enough to hold that vibration and bounce it off? So then you want to say this. After you create your bubble, you go, any entities, psychic attacks, or probes that come in my auric field get swiftly bounced back and return to love. And you should do that in the morning, and you should do it before you go to bed, because it lasts about 10 to 12 hours, this bubble, unless you're really being attacked or you're in a really toxic, low vibration place. Then you want to just keep that energy bubble going.
Wow. No, I really understand that, because when you're a bright light, there's a lot of people who don't want to actually do their inner work and actually want to take the light from you. And as you raise your vibration, people can feel it. And yes, you do. You really do need to protect yourself, because you never know what's out there.
Well, and you don't understand. Like, I've been around a person who every time I leave, I'm absolutely drained, because they're sucking my energy. They're energy vampires, and they feel great because they've just sucked all the energy from you. And then it takes days for me, or I'll clean out a whole house and I'll be like, holy cow. Some days I can't do anything for 3 to 4 days, because it takes so long for all the negative to transform from me.
I understand. I've had similar experiences, and it's scary sometimes. Like, I think, growing up as a child, I used to think, why am I stuck in my head? Is it me? What's wrong with me? As you're growing up, you don't know what's going on. And then as I found out, and I did the inner work 11 years ago, and then found out the term empath, I was like, oh my God, this makes sense. And then I realized the power of, like you said, protecting your energy. And the more work I did on it, the more I realized certain people were zapping my energy or were energy vampires. And yeah, you're right. Like, I remember sometimes, like, I would be weeks like when I mean, I'm not even kidding, weeks bedbound after seeing somebody, and I'd be like, what's wrong with me? Not realizing actually it wasn't my energy, it was their emotional baggage. And then I started to hold boundaries. But it takes time. A lot of us don't realize how open our channels are. Some people already have boundaries and can protect themselves, but not everybody has that, and they need to learn how to shield themselves with what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. And so I'll tell you guys a quick story. So I went down to visit my sister at her house, and I haven't been down for a long time because my teacher advised me, you can't go down, you can't be around your sister. You guys have to meet in a neutral place.
Oh.
And I was like, and we were like best friends. And I started really getting into my spirituality and my like I was open so much. So I went down to her house and I drank some wine and this and that. We're in the hot tub. We're having a great time. Well, drinking wine lowers your vibration, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't in my, this was a few years ago. And so I wasn't in my top shape. And I let my guard down, to be honest. So I went to bed in her son's room. I've never told this publicly.
Oh, wow.
I went to bed in her son's room. I'm not kidding you. I woke up and there was a dark figure hovering over my bed. I've never been so scared in my entire life. And I couldn't move because you know how that is. You're just like, oh my God, it was like sucking me dry. I jumped up and I ran into my sister's room and I said, move over, her and her husband, move over. I'm sleeping in. And I tried to go back to go get my water out of the room. And I could feel the darkness just was like, yeah, come on in. And I was like, I can't go back in here. As soon as it was light, I left. I grabbed my stuff and left. And I said, I will never go back to that house again. So fast forward, I'm having a meeting with my teacher. And I said, you know, I'm not feeling good at all. I started crying. I'm like, there's something not right. And she goes, turn around. And I turned around and all in the back of me was just completely attached. I had so many attachments on me. And she said that the son brought in a real bad dark energy into the home. And she said there was so much dark energy in that home. She goes, you cleaned the whole house out for them.
Ooh.
Yeah, it took me a long time. So listeners, seriously, protect yourself because the veil is getting thinner. And that's why you're probably going through emotional roller coasters right now and you don't understand what's going on. It's because you are going out and picking up other people's energies and they're not yours. So you need to start asking yourself, what am I feeling? What do I need? Right? Because when you stop and ask those questions, you're going, okay, is this my energy? No, it's not. I was fine just a little while ago. It's somebody else's energy. So this is what you do. You go, hey, angels, guides, SOS, I need your help. I need you to fill me up and cleanse me of what's going on inside of me, right? And then you could just say, everything out, everybody out that's in my vessel that doesn't belong to me, and they have to go. And you can imagine, I always ask the angels to squeeze me out. So you just pretend you're under a white waterfall and they just squeeze you out, squeeze you like you're squeezing out a towel. And then I always imagine myself unringing and then my hair is like, you know, crazy. And then it's like, okay, you know, but it's gnarly and there's darkness 100%.
No, I 100% relate because when I was really sick a few years back, my ex-partner at the time, we went to go visit one of his family members and I left drained and I think it took me like 3 weeks to get better because I picked up whatever was in the house, whatever their family member had. And it was like somebody had hit me with a bus and run over me because it was that heavy. And then I realized after that, and then I started to protect myself and not go to that place. And I would limit my conversation with that person as well because I was like, I do not need to entertain this right now until my protection got stronger. Then I was able to talk to them easily after.
Right, but I would still keep a kind of a distance. Yeah. Because there's always a reason why those people want to be around us.
Oh, 100%. They want the light because they don't want to do the inner work for themselves. 100%.
Oh yeah. And they steal it from you and they totally zap. I have a friend like that and I'm like, I can't be around it anymore. Oh, I want to see you. And I could feel it in my stomach. And it's like, no, you got to say no. You got to stand up for yourself and go, no, because it's bad. And the stronger the person's obsessed with you, it's worse.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a stalker, so yes. That's a long story, which we can talk about another time. But yeah,
Definitely. I
yeah,
can't wait to
yeah.
hear it.
Oh no, it was scary, and because that energy was so heavy, you're right. It was like consuming me, and I didn't understand what was going on, and then until I realized, and then I cleansed it, and I was like, oh,
But
I
it's
took my
really
power
hard
back.
to, isn't it? Isn't it hard to break away?
Oh my God, yeah, it was on me for years. This person had
Yeah.
stalked me for about 11 years.
Yeah, I've had the same problem and it's really scary because then it's in your head and you can't clear it and it's like it drags you down. You can't be creative.
Yep, yep. It really did. Like I didn't feel it so much in the beginning, but to like the middle bit, then I started to feel it stronger and stronger. And then I could see that they were watching me online. I was like, oh, now I
You know
get
what it
it.
is? That was a past life
Oh,
um
100%.
coming back.
Wanting to, yeah, something clearly happened between us, and therefore wanting to take something
Yeah.
like in seek of revenge. Yeah, yeah, I totally understand that. I think a lot of people again don't realize that, do they? That some of these things that we have, or like there's a reason why we don't like somebody, and it's not that we're being mean, it's that generally we must have had some old karmic energy with them in another lifetime.
Right. And it's really hard to break. That is a really hard, and you can cut cords and everything else and yank those cords. And then, if you give them an inch, they will come right in like worms. And it's like, no, no more. It's hard. It's really hard to like, stay away.
One
No
of my
means no.
Yeah, you just reminded me. One of my girlfriends, like one of my friends, she, oh God, this was a few years ago. She was dating a guy who turned around and said, I want to harm you. She was like, what? And then she left him in the end because he was really toxic. And then when she did a clearing, it discovered that she had done something to him in a previous lifetime and he was seeking revenge in this lifetime. I was like, oh my
See?
God. Yeah, it was crazy. And I was like, this shit is real. Like people don't realize, they think it's all cuckoo, but this shit is absolutely real.
It's 100% real. I'm with you 100%. And you see these toxic relationships people are in and they can't break free from them because they don't have the will or the power to break free. And they don't understand why they keep getting into the same relation. It's like, you have some girlfriends or guy friends that are always with the same kind of people.
Yeah.
And you're like, do you see this? And they don't.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
again, it's that karmic energy, isn't it? That they're not realizing that there's something that's clearly happened between them in previous lifetimes. And in this lifetime, they're supposed to be free of them and to forgive themselves for whatever happened.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's why they need us to come in and say, okay, let's help you end this.
Yes. Yes. The cycle must end. Otherwise, it'll be another lineage and another lineage. And they'll be thinking, what the hell? Oh gosh, we've come towards the end of the show. Gosh, the time has gone quick. Bloody hell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've got a few more questions. The first one
Okay.
is, what are your 5 top tips for someone who's struggling with anxiety, but they don't know how to heal it or where to start?
Okay. So this is a great way to help yourself with anxiety. So again, we're going to go back to working with the color violet, transformation and forgiveness. So when you're struggling with anxiety, I want you to imagine that you're walking into a river, a energetic river of violet fire. Oh, okay. Forget that for right now. I'm being shifted right now because I want to go down to a real simple way to do this. So say you're with I'm so sorry about that. That's what happens to me all the time. Okay, so you're struggling with anxiety. And so what I want you to do is go outside. The main thing that you can do for yourself to make yourself feel better instantly is to go outside. And if you can, take your shoes off. And what you need to do is you need to go. So Mother Earth is truly our mother here when we're on planet Earth, right? She is our mom. And I don't know about you. I didn't have the most loving mother because she was too busy with 9 other siblings. So I never had mom. So my place of peace is being outside with Mother Earth. Go outside, put your feet on the ground and just release. This is what you're going to do. I release any anxiety, fear, anything that is holding me back today. I release it all down to you, Mother Earth. And just you saying that, you're surrendering. And I just want you to imagine, sense, feel the energy leaving down through your feet. See, she's your mom. She takes that away. It's like being cuddled and loved by your mother. And you just let that energy flow down through you. And she's going to pull it all down. So just, I release and I surrender all the anxiety and the fear that is inside of me. And you just let it flow down and she'll take it down. And then I just want you to imagine layers and layers of earth and just let the energy go down. She'll just grab it for you. And then she'll fill you back up, right? And then what I want you to do is just stick your hand straight out to the sun. I know in London, you don't have many sunny days, but you can pretend that the light is coming in through your palms of your hands, the top of your head, and just let that start channeling that energy down and just keep just saying, I release all the anxiety, all the fear, and just start letting it go. And then start sensing it. Where is it in your body? Because most of us feel the anxiety in our stomachs, right? Or our heart starts pounding really fast. So you can just go in and tune into those areas and touch that area. So put your hands on the area where you're feeling the anxiety and start blasting it with that violet fire, because that will transmute it instantly. The violet fire is the key. Now you can go into that waterfall of the violet fire and just have it flow through you. So you're just releasing the anxiety out from whatever area it's stuck in you. That is a great way to release anxiety and fear, because anxiety and fear are the same thing. And usually when you have anxiety and fear, it's because you don't feel safe and secure. So what you want to call in is the power of the divine feminine. And what's her color? Her color is ruby red. So a great way to do that is you just imagine you're sitting on a ruby red hot plate. Okay. It's not going to burn you, but you're sitting in this ruby red hot plate right on your root chakra. The chakras are our batteries of life. And when they're out of balance, you're completely out of balance. And that's what you need, is to fill up with the safety and security of the divine feminine. So call on the divine feminine as well. That'll work instantly as well.
I really felt that. Kind of went into a little whole world.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really powerful. The colors are powerful. And once you start incorporating that into your practice, you will level up. You will level up like crazy. And anything you do when you're freaked out, you just go underneath that violet fire waterfall and it will clear you and cleanse you. The white is awesome to work with golden sparkles and violet fire and the ruby red. Those should be your main colors you work with every day, and you won't get out of balance.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Wow.
You're welcome.
I'm blown away. What are you most grateful for?
Oh my gosh. I am so grateful that I am finally, because I am a work of progress, and I don't think any mystic or healer is ever done healing themselves. I am grateful for that I have the tools and to help myself heal more and more every day, because I do go backwards. I'm human, and I'm getting stronger to catch myself. And so I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for learning how to call in the energies of my guides and angels, because once you have a relationship with them, your whole life truly changes. And I'm so grateful for my new husband, because my husband is the one who gave me the power to step into who I am. He gave me the tools, and he really believed in me instead of being shut down and put down.
That's beautiful. Oh,
Makes me want to cry. You know, you don't think about that. And I think we should start doing that, saying each day what we're grateful for, because you forget.
100%. I think it's so powerful to say what you're grateful for, because we're so like, and I don't know if you like, I'm guessing with yourself as well, but in the past, like we always focused on what went wrong, not what went right. And we always focused on the negativity, and actually not realizing that there's beauty around us on a daily basis. Whether you're going through something heavy right now, there's beauty around you. The bed that you slept in, the butterfly that you saw today, or the sun is shining. Like everything is magic. We've just forgotten that, like
We
being that
sure
inner
have.
child.
No, we sure have. And like my daughter would call and say, Mom, I'm freaking out about this and that and da da da. And I'd be like, stop. Let's start thinking about what you have. It's always like what we don't have. Can you see? Can you touch your cat? Come on, let's start be grateful for those things, right? We take those simple things for granted, and people do. They need to be great. I'm grateful for my body. And I don't care what the shape of your body is. Be grateful for it, right?
And what shines your inner light?
What shines my inner light? Oh, wow. That's a great question. What shines my inner light? You know what shines my inner light more than anything is helping people. I get so my vibration goes up so high when I'm able to watch somebody's face transform. Like clients will come to me and you'll see their face and you're like, oh my gosh. And then after working with them and seeing like this darkness come over them, or their aha moment, like, oh, wow, I've been carrying that around this whole time. That was so easy to get rid of. And seeing them shine, that makes my heart sing like nobody's business.
I love that. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you, Mary, so much for trusting the wisdom from within and listening to your angels and saying, I'm ready to come back home, and changing so many lives, because you're really helping so many people to really be their true self.
You're welcome. And thank you for having me. You are a beautiful, beautiful, bright soul. And thank you for what you're doing, because you're getting the word out there to people. So well done to you.
Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing episode with Mary. It's just so true to trust from within and to surrender, because everything is happening for you for your greatest and highest good. Unfortunately, that's the end of the show. Before I leave, I want to leave you with this quote. So often we depend on the external to heal us, but healing comes from within. That's a quote by Yes Supply. Take care, my sisters. Bye. For more information about the show or how to trust your inner light, visit my new coaching program at gerdshandel.com. And remember, stay happy, stay healthy, stay lit.